Hi everyone, welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Karmesh Gupta, co-founder and CEO of WiJungle, a unified network security gateway that helps organizations to manage and safeguard their entire local area network through a single window. Karmesh is a graduate of LNM Institute of Information Technology. Also, Karmesh has been featured in Forbes 30 under 30 in 2020. Hi, Karmesh. Welcome to ELI.
Hi, Priya. It's a pleasure to be here.
I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Hi, Priya. Thank you for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be here. So, I basically run a company named WiJungle, which is into the cybersecurity domain. And as you mentioned, we do and offer the, you can say, unified network security gateway to the businesses so that they can manage and secure their entire network stuff through a single window. I have been into the entrepreneurship for around 6 years now and have been following it for around 8 years. So it was in 2013, January 2013, when I thought to actually start something of my own. I started exploring multiple domains, but it was finally the cybersecurity aspect which fascinated me. And then in 2014, we started HTTP card technologies with a very simple vision that we really wanted to be a global product company. And within the global product company also, we really wanted it to be specific to internet domain. So this is how we started. And specifically talking about WiJungle, it was started in April 2017. So almost been 3.5 years now.
Okay, Karmesh, before we proceed, I'd like to tell you that I went through your LinkedIn profile and I saw that you worked with the IPL teams, especially Rajasthan Royals. And since IPL is starting today, I'd like to ask you what was your experience? Can you share some of the?
It was really awesome experience. It was back in 2013. So I was taking care of the corporate social responsibility. So they were aligned with Operation Smile at that given point in time. And I got the opportunity and you can say kind of privilege to interact with the co-founders, the co-owners, the team players, everyone. I worked in synergy with Airtel that given point in time, Rotary International, and just give me a moment. I'll put it into the airplane mode. Yeah. So did you get the disturbance in between, or was it fine?
It was fine. You can continue.
Okay. Sure. So it was an experience where I got to interact with multiple, you can say, entities. So Rotary International, Operation Smile, Airtel, who was the sponsor for it, and then the Rajasthan Royal. So four entities, and I was coordinating in between them, reporting the patients who were suffering from, you can say cleft, and Operation Smile was supporting them to identify, and Airtel was sponsoring it. Rotary International was actually again taking care of the patients in other ways. So that was a really wonderful time. So I remember 6th March 2013 when I got this opportunity, and I worked till I think somewhere 30th of May. That was the ending. I would say the match. So yeah.
Okay. Now coming back to Forbes, you were featured in Forbes 30 under 30, and in my experience, when you do something impactful, then only you get featured in Forbes. So tell us what is the impact, what has been the impact of WiJungle and your other ventures to the society.
It was specifically for WiJungle only, because the kind of traction we gathered in the shortest duration, that was, I think, when I got nominated for it, it was around 19-20 months we were into the business of specifically into the sales, and we were doing the business across 27 countries, having good number of customers, partners, and one growing rapidly, like quarter to quarter our growth rate was quite good. That's where you can say, kind of nomination came up. And within the enterprise category, I was really surprised that I was the youngest to get featured in the entire Asia. So yes, it was really mesmerizing.
But still, I want to know what is so great about your product or the service you are offering. There has to be some.
Sure, I'll definitely comment on it. So when you specifically try to understand the network security, or you try to understand how the enterprise currently have their infrastructure, you will going to realize that it is a distributed architecture. Cybersecurity at the moment in B2B space is quite distributed. That means if you have 25 different problems to solve out, then at the same time you need to deploy 25 different products to cater them, right? So a specific product for a specific problem. And when a CIO tries to go with this particular kind of definition or architecture, at the end of the day, they get to realize that they have more than 25, 30 vendors sitting in their infrastructure. Now, managing these players at a given point in time or on a daily basis, it's really difficult. Again, scalability is something which bothers everyone, because you have 25 product. If the number of users within your organization increase, eventually it affects everyone, and it's not something which is an easy task. Moreover, in addition to it, it is the investment side which actually kills everyone, specifically the SMB side of it. So that's where when we started in 27, we thought like, let's go ahead and try to develop something within the unified space, a comprehensive space, such that multiple aspects can be done through a single window, through a single product. And that's how we came up with unified network security gateway, or you may call it as a platform now. So this is the key, you can say, differentiation we brought in, because of which the organizations were, you can say, we cut down their cost of investment by up to 60%. That was one of the tragic thing. Second aspect is in terms of the simplification and management or scalability challenges.
Okay, that sounds interesting. Uh, Now, would like to know when it all started. When you got into this space, how did you find your co-founders? How did you come up with this idea? What were the initial days? Can you shed some light on that?
Sure. As I mentioned, like I was actually exploring starting from 2013 itself. So I did my assignment with Rajasthan Royal. Then I worked with Lucidius as an intern and then on a part-time basis. I also got the chance to work with I also got the chance to work with an edtech startup. I was taking care of their operation, and this was all from the, you can say, just an interest to learn and experience things. Finally, in 2014 summer, I decided that it's a time now where I can take a step forward and start my entrepreneurial journey. And at the same time, Praveen, who was working in Samsung, he was actually operating out of Noida as well as Korea office, and he was looking to move out from there and start something of his own. And that's where we find the synergy, that I am somebody who is passionate about entrepreneurship and business aspect, and Praveen is somebody who is passionate about the technology side, and he's really good into it. So why not to join hands and start the journey together? Moreover, we are first cousins, so again, trust was not at all an issue. So this is how in October 2014 we embraced our journey, and this is how things are going since then.
Okay. So, since you mentioned about the trust factor, and I see a lot of co-founders that are coming up in recent times. So, you'll either find their family relatives, or sometimes their close friends. They have been friends from some time, and that truly reflects the kind of society we are living in. So, to be honest, in India, the trust factor is a little low. You do not trust someone else who is not from your circle easily, and that is why we often come across with people who are from your close circle. Here is my question to you: if you are a sole entrepreneur, you don't have anyone in your circle uh, who is visionary enough to become your co-founder and help you with your vision. How do you deal with such a situation? Have you ever come across people who are not related to each other but have become successful co-founders?
Uh, Not yet, I would say, or probably would have then somehow they are connected. Maybe somebody would have introduced to them, or there would have been a connecting link. It's not that people who are poles apart are not known to each other and they just collaborated and they started their journey. No, has not been the case, because see, when you start, you need to understand the other side of the person also, how passionate he is about the things. It should not be that you start and 3 months later you realize, oh, I'm really finding it too difficult. Because starting something is fine. It's like the perseverance which takes a lot of effort. So you need to identify the person. Probably if you have found a person who is looking forward to join, you aren't known to him, it's somebody who is you can say kind of stranger to you, probably I would recommend that you must spend time at least 5 to 6 months with him to understand how exactly he thinks. Probably you can start working on some initial draft, and while working onto the initial drafts, or maybe going on a joint calls, you will realize that what's the thought process of the other guy, because that synergy has to be there 100%. Otherwise it's a real trouble, and a lot of times you will find founders started you can say fighting within the internal side itself. So somebody has left and somebody has okay, kind of figured out something better opportunity. That should not happen, because it hampers the entire you can say synergy or energy of the team. So yeah, I haven't come across though. People
Okay.
have started, then they would have been connected somewhere.
Hmm. So, Karmesh, another question. I assume you and your team are operating out of Jaipur. Correct me if I'm not wrong. Um, uh,
Yeah.
so, uh, being a progressive company, and if you are not based out of a metro city, Jaipur is not a metro city, is what I believe. How easy or difficult is it from different point of views, so like recruiting best talent and getting exposure in the industry, attracting investors, and all the aspects?
All the three aspects which you named, either recruiting, or either it comes to the exposure, or either it's come to the attracting the investors. I think the initial two are definitely better when you are operating from a metro city. You always get the leverage, and I miss that very, very much in Jaipur. Coming to the investor side, you can say kind of attraction or kind of an interest from the investor. That depends, like how exactly the fund is focused, whether they are looking forward to the tier 2 startups who are doing amazing stuff and then bringing out you can say bringing out them to a global level or to a national level, or they wanted to be focused primarily onto the metro cities where they find that yeah, finding the resources or doing the business is quite easier. So when it comes to us, I would say, except the operational cost, I don't think that there would have been any additional privilege. And it was kind of you can say a moment when we actually started. I was in my college. I was in my fifth semester. I could not move out to Delhi, or I could not move out to Bangalore. So it was a kind of compulsion, kind of you can say scenario where we were bound to start from Jaipur, and that's where the journey went on. But if somebody is looking forward to, you can say, kind of initiate in the recent time, or some you can say near future, I would suggest him to start from a metro only, because exposure and talent, definitely talent becomes quite easier. Exposure is something which is a very crucial aspect, and I focus a lot on it. You'll not make mistakes if you are, you'll avoid a lot of mistakes if you're from metro.
Okay. Okay. Karmesh, we also spoke about investments and investors. Uh, Tell us, how did you? I think you have recruited many people under your company, and there would be a lot of operational expenses. When you started, how did you manage the funds? Did you bootstrap or did you get external funding? How was it?
It's entirely bootstrapped till yet. Uh, and see, the factor is, as an entrepreneur, Praveen and I have seen the entire sine wave. So we have seen the time when we were actually having good amount of savings available with us. We started in 2014 with a free Wi-Fi thing. At that given point in time, we got a lot of media coverage. We were absolutely fantastic in terms of the idea, but there were so many mistakes which we made and eventually ran out of the cash. It was something, I would say, around 48 to 50 lakhs of loss, which incurred onto the individual pocket of ours. But somewhere the grit to success was so high that we really wanted to uh, take the challenge up and pursue it, and wanted to, you can say, come back into the product space again, and you can say kind of make a successful entrepreneur, or you can say business, or a journey. So it was like, when we had this loss of around 48 to 50 lakhs, we went ahead and thought, like, what can be the next step we can do to cover this loss. And so with the kind of resources we had, we thought it's good to be, you can say, involved within the IT service domain, because that does not require any additional thing from your pocket. Whatever you have as a laptop, or you can say kind of machines, they are more than enough to, you can say, serve your customers. So we serve the, you can say, multiple companies, like Patanjali was our customers, Indian Railways was our customers, Nine Apps was our customers. So around for a year, we served multiple, you can say, companies within the IT service domain, whether it's related to web, app development, digital marketing. Covered 70% of our losses. That means turned them from red to black. And finally, back in December 2016, we came to the product space, which again didn't work because of the telco revolution. So we get to realize again after 3 months that it's second failure for us, because something which we wanted to do, but at every given point in time, there's something which is actually not allowing us to move ahead. Finally, it was in April 2017, we thought to move into the security aspect, because we were quite aware of it. I have been involved into it. Praveen was involved into it, but uh, now the internet space or internet problem was over. People were having abundant amount of data at their end. So it was like the security, which would be the next challenge, and we took it up and then move ahead into it. So since then, the journey has been fantastic. It's been a growing curve. You can say it's a 10 curve now. But before that, it was an absolute sine curve. We have seen the highs and lows, and then now it's a journey which has been fabulous.
Hmm. Okay. Here are some of the very curious and critical questions that are coming to my mind. Uh, so, if I observe your work closely, I see that you are always seeking towards a product company. Why? It is because it is scalable. After you have built a successful product, then it is easy to scale, especially in the IT domain. Um, Having said that, you have also
Mhm.
tried a service based model, and if you look at Indian IT industry in general, there are product based companies, there are service based companies. What I've been seeing is more and more product companies are coming up, and share of the service companies are going down. But if you look at the industry, you'll also find that the giants like TCS, Infosys, they are all service based companies. And I just want to know, what is your perspective on how would be the future of IT industry? Will there be service based companies? Will there be product based companies? Will there be both? where the industry is moving towards?
I think service is already done. There are giants into it. So since 1980s to I would say 2005 has been a time of IT service only. We as a nation have given a right example to the world that yes, we have the strength and capability to serve world-class projects. And Infosys or TCS or multiple other companies involved into it have been, you can say, set up a successful track. It's a time when world, or I would say India, in fact, needs, you can say, product nation. Because if you look the Indian economy, right, we are a mercantile nation, right? So everyone, you can say, involved into the businesses, major of our businesses, they are merchants. They are importing products from US or other economies, and then we are keeping a margin of 10, 15, 20% on top of it and then selling it off. It's not going to benefit us in a longer term. If you see either the 5 trillion GDP goal, or probably if you want to make India among the top 3 or top 5 economies, and it has to be consistent, then products are something which are the crucial aspect of it, where we build our product, sell it to the you can say other countries globally, and do a lot of exports in terms of software. So I think you will see since the last 15 years, it's all been around the product. And if you specifically talk about cybersecurity, I'm thrilled to say this, that we are really the front runners in the cybersecurity in this industrial revolution 4.0. So cybersecurity, there are more than 30 plus product companies who are selling globally, and selling not just in 1 or 2 or 3 countries, selling more than 20 plus countries, and have revenues in $1 million. And that's really something which is credible. So cybersecurity space as a part of industry 4.0 is something which is giving India a good amount of image, and bringing a lot of respect at least.
Okay. Karmesh, not a long ago, I hosted a founder who has built a IT-based service company, and his total revenue is coming from projects and different contracts he has got. And he was quite confident that he'll continue the same model for the future. And
Mhm.
many of the other companies are also into the similar mindset, but it also reflect why a service based company, why somebody builds a service based company is the fact that you just mentioned, it doesn't require much investment, and that is the upside. It is not too much risk to build a service company. It's a low risk
Absolutely.
venture. But if you look at the output also, it is very much limited. And India becoming a service giant truly reflects that mindset. People are not willing to take risk, right? uh,
Correct.
so how do you see going forward? Because I see a clear decline in that mindset, because it is in long run we have to build products, as you rightly mentioned. But how to change that mindset of people? They are not willing to take risk. Can you share some thoughts on that?
I think it depends on person's insight. So probably one cannot push somebody to go into the product space. It's all about the conviction which you are able to build on a certain idea. I've seen multiple service-based companies who are now product-based companies. Earlier, like I would say 5 to 6 years back, 90% of their revenue was through the service aspect. Now it's like 80% of their revenue is through product aspect, and 20% is coming through the service. So slowly and gradually they have converted. If I take the example, so Lucidius, which is into cyber security, and I have interned over there, was into entirely into the service space till 2016, and then slowly they migrated themselves to the product space. And I think if you see the revenue transition, that's huge. They have been able to raise investment because of the product, Service is not something which is the key element. It's the investment which has come to them is based on to the product side. The kind of recognition they have got globally is all around the product which they are building up, right? Or the innovation which they are bringing into it. So it's all about the mindset of a founder, how exactly he's looking, whether he's comfortable enough to make the money, just make the money. Definitely service is good enough. You can have hundreds or thousands of US based customers or Europe based customers who can pay you $30,000 uh, 30 to 35 dollar per hour, and you'll definitely save a good amount of money. But it's all about how do you think, where exactly you want to, you can say, cater the need, what problem are you looking forward to solve. It's all within the individual's mindset.
Okay. Since you have followed history quite a lot, and you are following the trends as well, I would like to ask you, India in coming days, uh, let's say another 10 years time or 20 years time, what are the different industries you see
Mhm.
coming up for our entrepreneurs to get into? Having while I say that, I'd request you to consider the current geopolitical things that are happening, and different change of mindset and change of supply chain that are happening. What are the new things you can expect coming up in the Indian business?
For sure, this geopolitical thing will give a spark to the manufacturing, right? I hope and I definitely believe into this, that within the next 1 to 2 years, you'll definitely going to see companies building the electronic components in India. That's something which will turn out to be a fact. Second aspect is in terms of, if I say the industries which will grow and which will be the, you can say, India's backbone in the next 1 decade. So definitely fintech is one. I definitely believe into it a lot. How we have revolutionized in the last 5 years is something incredible. Cybersecurity, again, it's something which is happening globally. People are widely accepting it. And secondly, in India, it's been a recent time. It's been a recent thing. It's not an old thing where cybersecurity thing has been considered by a lot of organization. Third aspect is definitely edutech. I think we have built world-class products into the edutech space, and not just one. You get to see millions, like a lot of startups into it. Then, if you talk about healthcare, that's again an interesting space. And apart from that, the deep techs, like AI or ML based companies or blockchain based companies, they are really making their own space. So I think these six from my side, which are also the part of, I would say, industry 4.0. And as a focus, I really want that India should turn out to be the epicenter of the global revolution of this industry 4.0. Maybe in the next 5 to 7 years, we believe we'll be able to achieve it.
Okay. Now coming back to my regular questions, I would like to know what is your vision with the venture you are building?
We really want it to be the top five global product companies in the category we are working in the next 4 to 5 years.
Okay. Uh, can you share with us some of the interesting lessons you have learned along the way as an entrepreneur?
As an entrepreneur, yes, definitely. So don't try everything from your side. Learn from the mistakes of other people. One of the very, very important lesson. And that's why I say that when you start from metros, you definitely get a lot of exposure. You'll get a lot of learning from the people who have built successful ventures or are in process of it. So that's a very crucial aspect. Second aspect is when you try to figure out or identify a space you want to work in, ensure that the market is large enough. That's crucial for building a scalable or building a $1 billion company. Otherwise it will just be a dream. Third aspect is having a good team, which I think nobody in the world will going to deny. It's like people who are like-minded, who are passionate and carry the similar kind of energy you have within you. It's just not limited to the founders. It's limited to it's like it applies to your employees. It applies to your you can say every single person who is aligned in your organization in one or the other way. So yes, these three.
Okay. My last question to you. How would you suggest our audience to start their journey as entrepreneurs?
Very important question and very, very good thing which you have asked. When you start something, you are starting your journey to prove yourself as a successful entrepreneur. Keep this thing in your mind from the day one. You are not building up a company. You are not building up or just willing to, you can say, make an idea successful. That's not your vision, because ideas may or may not work, but your desire, your intent to be an entrepreneur is something which has to exist for a longer time, because perseverance will come through that only. Otherwise you're gonna lose it. You will gonna switch back to again to the 9 to 5 thing. So that's a very important aspect. It's like how the film industry works. You have to prove yourself as an actor. Films might or might not work. The ideas are the similar way. So for us, we have been able to build out a successful venture because that means I and Praveen were you can say rigid about it. We had this perseverance and grit that whatever comes, we're gonna bear it. We'll come out of it and build it into a venture. So just focus on one thing, that you are starting because you want to be an entrepreneur. You are not starting because you have to make a particular idea successful. So idea may or may not work. Keep this in mind, and you should not lose out on energy because of that.
Okay. On that note, I'll close this session. It was a great pleasure to host you here. I think our audience would have got a great lesson from this video. Thanks, Karmesh, for your time, and our best wishes for
Thank you.
all the ventures you are building and will build over the time.
Thank you, Priya, and good luck to you also for the initiative you are carrying. I hope you are bringing an impact for the young entrepreneurs who are looking to start. So yes, I hope that you keep on doing this, get a lot of volunteers who support you in this particular part, and keep making the impact. Thank you so much for hosting me. Yeah,
Thank you. Viewers, you can
yeah,
follow and connect with Karmesh on LinkedIn by searching for Karmesh Gupta. Also, do visit their website WiJungle.com. That is it for today's episode. We will be back with another exciting Indian entrepreneur. Stay tuned to ELI.